We're talking about who are we, not what do we have or what do we do in that sense. Who are we and are we enough? There's that coaster or t-shirt, you've seen it, I am enough. And that's where we want to get to understand that who we are is enough. And who we are and who we have been made to be by the divine gives us enough to give from. If we feel like we have to go make a lot of money before we give any money, because I don't have very much, so I better hold on to what I have because I'm going to need every last penny, and I really can't give to somebody else in need because I need it. We're not leading with generosity. We're not following the example of the widow. You know the story of the widow's mite. And I don't know if I've probably shared this with some of you, but I feel I'm prompted to share it with you. And if it's a repeat, I apologize. But when I was working at a school, and this was early on, and I was a receptionist, somebody had walked out and they called me in a panic saying, "Can you please come?" And that led to 20 years at this place. But I started as a receptionist, and I had been, an anchor and a producer and done much sort of higher level jobs. So I had a skill set that it was fine. I was a great receptionist, but I had a lot more to give. So I was constantly asking people to give me stuff to do because I was like, I'm answering the phone and I'm doing a great job of it. And it was really busy, but there's more here. So when they got to the annual fund for the school and they got down to this list of people who hadn't given yet, the school had never gotten to 100%. And I said, give me the list. I see people all the time. I'm talking to people all the time. Let me see if I can get 100% for the school. So we got down to just like a couple people. And there was this one person who was on financial aid who clearly was kind of struggling financially and just didn't have a lot of extra, but was the absolute sweetest woman and really loved the school and was really grateful. She was so grateful to have her kids there and to just feel, I get choked up just thinking about who she was because she was so filled with spirit and love and just giving of herself, even though she didn't have a lot humanly. And she came in and she was on the list of people who hadn't given. And I knew why. She felt embarrassed and she didn't have anything to give. And I called her over and I said, look, we're really close to 100%. And it really isn't about the amount that you give. At this point, it really is about the solidarity of the community coming together and all of us being in one spirit and expressing our love for the school. I know you love the school. So we talked and we chatted. And I said, listen, do me a favor. And she just said, look, I really can't. And I said, I understand. I said, do me a favor. Go out to your car and see if you can find any coins under the seat of your car. It wouldn't be money that you knew you had. So it wouldn't be like you had budgeted and now you'd lost this. It would be extra. And maybe, just maybe, I said, honestly, if you find a penny, I'm going to cross your name off because you will have given something. So I said, honestly, if you just find a penny. She came in, she was gone for a bit, and I wasn't sure she was coming back. And she came in with this little handful of I don't know, 5 or 6 coins in her hand. She has tears in her eyes. I have tears in my eyes. She hands me, I'm getting choked up. Every time I tell the story, I get choked up. She hands me this little cluster of coins from under the seat of her car. And I felt like she'd given me $1 million. Like seriously, it was the widow's mite. And that's where we are. That's where we are. That's what giving is. It's giving of the spirit of who we are. It's giving of that rich overflow of love that we feel because we have a desire to give. That's giving. It's not saying, oh, I have $1 million. Here's 100. That's easy. That doesn't make you reach down and produce tears. Like I'm crying right now. It doesn't make you reach down into your spirit. It doesn't make you reach down into who God made you to be. If it's easy to give, unless you're giving it easily from spirit, but if it's just kind of like an unthinking sort of, yeah, I can, that's easy. Dig deep. Go to that place that feels a little bit more challenging so that you have to reach across that line from the human to the divine. Hey, that rhymed. So that you have to put yourself in that place of having to trust that this is coming from that well of abundance that's divine and infinite, and not scraping it together from your human supply. And notice that in the story that I just shared, she was giving from her love of the school.